Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm VaultFox and today I'm going to be showing you how I apply my makeup and put on my Lekku for my Hera Syndulla cosplay. All the supplies I'm using in this video will be linked in the description below, so you don't have to take any notes and you can just watch me kind of flail along and try to make myself green for y'all. I start by applying primer all onto my face. I'm using like a MAC Prep and Prime primer, but it really doesn't matter what you use. Just make sure you put something on so that you have a little bit of a barrier between yourself and this green paint. I let that primer dry for a little bit and then I spray barrier spray as well as a makeup setting spray just to give myself a little bit extra of a base whenever I'm applying the makeup. And once all that's on, I'm then putting my hair up into a wig cap. You don't necessarily have to do this for a Lekku. I just have a ton of hair. It's really thick even though it's short, and it just kind of keeps everything up there nice and all like flat, or as flat as you possibly can get it. So it's just one of the things that I like to do underneath my Lekku. It makes my head hurt a little bit less, and it could help if you have a lot longer of hair or pretty thick hair. So I like to use 2 wig caps. It just kind of gets everything all situated for me, and I don't worry about my what the heck are those called? I don't worry about my sideburns because they're gonna pop out, and I'm not gonna cut my hair or shave my hair down for cosplay anymore. I used to do that, but I don't do it anymore. So if you see sideburns, I'm sorry. And before I start putting all this green paint on, I like to chug a little bit of water just because I know that once that green paint's on, I'm gonna be smearing it to high hell. The makeup that I use for Hera's skin is a water activated makeup, and all that means is you take some water and you put it onto your brush or onto the makeup itself, and it will create the color that you need on your face. And it's really nice because it's easy to remove and it's pretty easy to layer up as long as you're careful about letting each layer dry carefully. But one sort of tip or hack, I guess you could say, that I use with this type of makeup is I'll actually use my makeup setting spray, and that was the stuff that I was using earlier on as a barrier, and I'll spray that directly into the makeup itself. I find whenever I do this, it allows me to use less product, and also the layers tend to be a lot more opaque and I don't have to do nearly as many. Also, it really tends to kind of stay on my face a lot longer. It's not as prone to, melting off like if I was just using regular water to activate the makeup. So it's just something to give a try. You might not need to do it. I generally have only been doing this makeup for TikToks and for this video right here, so I don't really need a lot of staying power, but whenever cons come back, if they ever do, rest in peace conventions this year, I would recommend trying out a makeup setting spray instead of using water just to see how it kind of goes. Once that base layer of green is all on my face, I'm just taking my makeup setting spray again and spraying that all over my face, and I'm getting another drink of water because, again, I want to get in as much water as I possibly can before everything is going to get smeared. And here I am taking a photo for Instagram to tell people how ridiculously crazy my Wednesday night was whenever I was doing this. The next thing I like to do with Hera's makeup is focus on the eyebrows, mostly because it allows the green layer paint even more time to dry and cure on my face. And I like to pencil in the eyebrows first because I find that the eyebrows really frame the face and they can really make or break how your makeup actually ends up looking in the end. Hera's eyebrows in the show are really pencil thin, but that really doesn't look good on my face shape, so I like to just fill in my natural eyebrows with a black eyeshadow that I have. You can go, you can go thicker, you can go thinner as you like, but it is really important to pencil in these eyebrows because your face will look very strange if you don't have any eyebrows going on. It's also important to note here that even if you kind of mess up how your eyebrows look, like as you can see here, my left and my right are definitely more of sisters rather than twins, and you can go back in with your water-based makeup and correct that. That's what I'm doing right here, and that's another reason why I don't like to finish up my general face makeup before I'm done with everything, because if this is all just that regular lime green color, it's a lot easier to cover up, and as you can tell, it's looking a lot better than what my sloppy job was earlier on. You can always go back in with makeup and correct things. Don't think that anything is permanent. Now that I've got her eyebrows all penciled in, I'm going in with a dark green eyeshadow and just kind of putting that all over my lid just to give it a little bit more definition there. I used 2 different colors of dark green. They're both from NYX. I'll make sure to link them down below. And again, this just gives a little bit more definition to the face, and we'll also be using these 2 same colors to do a little bit of contouring later on in the video. For Hera's eye makeup, I'm really trying to go for a sort of smoky look, but to be honest with you, the only time I really wear makeup is whenever I'm doing cosplay, so I'm kind of just winging it. I don't really know what I'm doing here. But as you can tell, now my eyes look a lot more defined. Next thing I do is I take my Super Cat eyeliner and I'm just lining the top and bottom of my eyes. I like to do a little bit of a wing and I kind of overline my eyes so that my eyes look a little bit larger and a little bit more animated. I apologize for doing this kind of off screen and not really directed at the camera itself. I had to do this in my mirror because I'm blind as a bat. I don't have contacts, I can't wear contacts, and I wear glasses 24/7, so it's really hard for me to see what I'm doing, and I still think I messed it up, so. Next up, I'm taking a dark eyeshadow and I'm contouring my face. So the first thing I do is I like to go in and contour the really high cheekbones that Hera has going on. I also go underneath my chin and I really try to give myself a nice V of a chin. Again, these are animated characters, so they're very, they're not a human face shape. So you're trying to use this dark makeup to really cast in those shadows to make your face look a different shape. In addition to contouring the rest of my face, I also go in with that same dark green color and contour my nose. Again, Hera has a very thin nose and my nose is a little bit wide because I'm human and she is a twi'lek. So I'm going in with that green and I'm just kind of trying to make sure that there's a really small slit of that light green down the middle. And I'm just going to be using that dark green to create shadows. So whenever I'm completely done and it's all blended in, it'll look like I have a really thin nose. And once I've got all that green on there, I'm just taking a larger, fluffier brush and just trying to blend that out into the lime green that I've got going on my face. Once I have all that contour laid out how I want it, I'm going back in with that lime green body paint and just cleaning up all of my edges. Once that's dry, I'm just coming back in with another fluffy brush and blending that in a little bit and going back in with my detail brush with the dark green to do a little bit more detail work on the nose. I know that my nose looks really ridiculous, but I promise this comes across pretty nicely in pictures, and that's why I'm taking a photo on my camera just to make sure that it's looking how I want it to. Now I'm just going in with some black mascara. Really doesn't matter what kind of mascara you use as long as it's black. I don't really use false lashes. I have in the past, but I really just hate gluing stuff to my eyes and it always feels weird and heavy and makes me feel tired. So I usually just use black mascara and it's worked out pretty fine for me. And as a final step, I'm just taking some setting powder, powdering that all over my face, making sure to get all over my neck and my eyebrows. And then I'm just spraying some more of that makeup setting spray to seal everything in. And as a final step, I'm just taking my Clinique Chubby Stick and just going all over my lips. I like to use things that are a little bit more transparent as opposed to lipstick because I find that it blends in better with the green makeup and makes it all look a little bit more cohesive and not like you just painted on your lips. Now that the makeup is all finished, it's time to get those Lekku on our head so we actually look like a twi'lek and not a crazy person with green face paint on. For reference, my Lekku are latex, they're not silicone, and I've never had any experience putting a silicone prosthetic on my head or anything like that. I'm not really sure if they act differently or react different to glue, so just take all this with a grain of salt in that I'm using latex. But what I like to do is I'll take the Lekku and I'll just pull it over my ears and up onto my forehead. And just doing this actually creates a lot of suction and it allows the Lekku to sit on my head without any type of glue. And the added benefit for Hera is that Hera has a flight cap and I just pull that over top of the Lekku whenever I've got everything situated. And that's how I become Hera Syndulla. Hera is one of my favorite characters from the Star Wars universe, and I love being able to bring her to life. I really hope that this video helped you out in some way, be it making your own twi'lek costume, or even just learning about body paint, or how I attach the Lekku to my head. And I will be sure to be making some videos in the future on how I made her Season 3, Season 4 outfits, and so be looking for those coming in the coming weeks. One last thing before I go, and I just had to mention this because I've never won anything in my life as it pertains to cosplay, and I really just kind of want to gush a little bit because, I mean, sometimes we just have to hype ourselves up, right guys? But this past weekend, I was actually given the honor of winning first place in the Hasbro PulseCon cosplay contest for the Star Wars division. And I just have to thank Hasbro so much for recognizing me or even just seeing my work in general. It's just absolutely amazing to me that they care that much or that they saw something in my work that I had done. And just thank you guys so much for, you know, just it's crazy to me that I even won this. I just am still amazed that Hasbro reached out to me on Twitter and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But I did want to mention the two runners up, M. Poppins Cosplay, as well as Leia Aurora, as I know her on Instagram. They also have fabulous cosplays as well, and you guys should check them out too. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I was just really happy, and I kind of wanted to gush a little bit and again hype myself up. But yeah, I'm back to just being myself and being green and weird. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!